What up, y'all? So let's talk about it, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. Favorite video to do the AP poll. Let's talk about it. All right, at number 25, SMU. I 100% understand this. They do have 3 losses this season, but nonetheless, they're sitting right at the top in the ACC rankings this year. Right, picked up a big win over Louisville. Louisville did not have Miller Moss, but they did what they were supposed to do, and they blew them boys out. Kevin Jennings once again had a big time game for the Mustangs, and they're right in that sweet spot and could potentially, if things go right, get into an ACC title game for the second consecutive year. Pretty good for Rhett Lashley and obviously the Mustangs. All right, under them you have Pittsburgh. Now, Pittsburgh, we talked about it yesterday in the reaction, had a pretty good game. I got to give the defense credit, right? Rasheem Biles, Kyle Lewis, they did what they were supposed to do in that game, man, in order for them to win. Some questionable things he did towards the end that you kind of like you do that with. But nonetheless, man, a pretty decent football team. Not a top 10 team. Obviously, Notre Dame blew them out last week, 37-15. But obviously, a really good defense. Mason Heisler gives you a chance to win in games, and you obviously got a great stable of backs. No Desmond Reed, but your carrying Turner goes for over 200 yards. Love to see it. Now, one thing I can say about the AP poll, I do love the writers and the people that do it because they take into consideration everything. They're much better to me, the AP poll is, compared to the CFP rankings. That's just my humble opinion. I think they do an outstanding job of ranking the teams that should be ranked. We'll talk about that more here in a second. But you look at Georgia Tech, who's likely not going to be ranked in the CFP playoff this week, but still ranked at number 23. You'll take that, right? Because you lost the game, obviously a pivotal loss to Pitt. If you play better, King plays better, offensive line plays better, y'all potentially win that game. You're 10-1 going against Georgia. Whatever happens in that game, and you can still win the ACC title. But that was the game you had to win if you're Georgia Tech. But the fact that you're still ranked 23 has to make you feel like, okay, big game against Georgia. Let's see what happens. But how fans are saying and reacting, likely even if you beat Georgia, according to the CFP rankings and how they have it ranked, you probably still won't get in, unfortunately. And that's crazy to say with a 10-2 season. Next up, Tulane. They've looked good so far this year. We know how good of a head coach they got in John Summerall. He's been obviously linked to other head coaching gigs, but he's been locking in with his team. Jake Retzlaff has been really good for them this season, coming over from BYU and everything that happened there. And he's been lighting it up on the run and also through the air. Tulane is serious, and they're going to have a big bout coming up here pretty soon. And that big bout will be with North Texas, a really good football team as well in the American Conference. Those two teams look like they're going to play each other for a championship and could potentially be for a college football playoff spot. We'll see what happens, but two really good teams in the American this year and teams that have obviously showed, hey, we deserve to be in. Now, James Madden's interesting. We talked about it last week, obviously, with just who they've played this year. They've struggled a little. They struggled with Washington State, who's obviously, a team that was 5-5 on the year, but they came out with a victory, right? I think JMU should be ranked. Getting into a CFP, I would say I would lean more towards the American Conference because of the teams they've played, how competitive a conference it was compared to the Sun Belt, where JMU ran away with it. So that is something I would definitely say that I would take an American team over a Sun Belt team. That's just my personal opinion, though. USC obviously lost to Oregon. Offensively did what they were supposed to do. Got shut down towards the second half of that game. Credit Oregon for continuing to put points on the board. Dante Moore had another stellar game. He looked obviously really good. So that's going to be something to continue to watch out for. So obviously, man, USC, I don't think they should be into the CFP playoff. 3 losses this year. But they are a pretty good team. They should get a good bowl game, in my humble opinion. Shout out to Tennessee, a team that's continued to move up in the rankings despite having 3 losses. But big win. You exercise some of your demons when you win against Florida, a team you've struggled with on the road. Hadn't won it, I think, since 2003, but you blow them out. You know what I'm saying? On the road, offense was lighting it up. Offense looked good, and exactly what you wanted to see from your football team. Joey Aguilar had a better game as well, man. So shout out to Tennessee. Big time win on the road against Florida with so much drama going on with the Blue Carter situation, and they handled business. Now, Virginia, I think, is the best team in the ACC. Humbly. I know Miami's in that conversation as well, but I think Virginia, with their defense, they can go on the road and really beat anybody. When you have a Cam Robinson, a Jason Pavard, a Devin Neal, a Fisher Kamak, when you have these type of pieces on the defense, you feel pretty good. And I know they had a bye week this week, big game against Virginia Tech coming up, primetime slot on ESPN. But I feel like Virginia has everything they need. Jamari Taylor, Terrell Harris, Jamal Edrin. They have everything they need in order to make some noise. I think they're one of the best teams, or I think they are the best team in the ACC. Texas, best game you've seen from Arch this year, right? 52 points against Arkansas. A little concerning was your defense giving up 37 points, but a good response, right? That's the big thing you want to see with teams is your response. How do you respond to adversity? They responded in a major, major way, and the Longhorns end up winning 52-37. Still got some things to clean up and improve, but you'll take it. Now, coming up for Michigan, it's pretty simple. It's win, you're in. I think if they go with 2 losses, the wins they have this year, if you go at home and you beat Ohio State, obviously, they've been dealing with injuries. No Carnell Tate versus Rutgers. No Jeremiah Smith versus Rutgers. They still dominate that game. But if you can win that one at home in Ann Arbor, you're in the college football playoff. I don't care what nobody's saying. You might not be into the Big Ten championship game, but you will make a CFP. If you can go on rivalry week and do it yet again and beat your rival Ohio State, hands down, you'll be in the CFP playoff. Now, Utah, I told you I'm still not sold. Credit to Devon Dampier for coming up big time and being able to win that game against Kansas State. They was trailing 47-37. They come out, somehow miraculously win 51-47. So, really big win for them. But I still don't think they're a CFP-worthy team. Some terrible losses on the road this year in their conference play. I still don't think they're worthy of being in the CFP playoff. They're not one of the top 12 teams in the nation to me. Now, Miami, on the other hand, I believe even with losses to SMU, right? A loss to Louisville. I still think they are one of the top teams on both sides of the ball. And I think it'll be good for the brand of college football for them to be in, right? Now, obviously, we got to see what happens moving forward. They still got one more big game against Pitt. Pitt, depending on how these rankings come out, on Tuesday night, that could be a big win for them on the road if Pitt is ranked somehow, some way. We'll find out if they are after that win against GT. If Miami can win that will help them out probably a good bit. And you got still a ranked win over Notre Dame, which should help you at the end and get into a CFP playoff. But we'll see what happens. Now, Vandy has a big game coming up against Tennessee. They blew out Kentucky. Diego Pavia had another big-time game. But that's going to be the big one, man, for both of those teams. If you're Tennessee, hey, man, you might can find your way right on the outside looking in. You know what I'm saying? If you can go 9-3, you know what I'm saying, this year. Last year was 10-2. If you can go 9-3, you know, obviously you still have some tough losses to Georgia, Bama, and obviously Oklahoma, but that might help you if you can beat a Vandy team with 2 losses and you're able to slow down Diego Pavia. That might do a lot for you. BYU, obviously, big win on the road, going up against Cincinnati, handle business. Bear Brockmeyer with another big-time game. LJ Martin couldn't be stopped. Really big win for BYU on the road, man. Really good football team. Cougars definitely deserve to be in a playoff spot. Now, obviously, Alabama, tough loss a few weeks ago against Oklahoma. But, hey, everything's still in front of you. Handle your business against Auburn, right? Not going to be an easy game. Rivalry games, you never know what can happen, bro. Going to be a tough game coming up, obviously, for the Crimson Tide. But handle your business in the Iron Bowl, you should be fine. For those that saying Notre Dame don't deserve to be in, hey, bro, argue with your mama. Notre Dame's going to be in the college football playoff. It is what it is. You can see what they just did at Syracuse. I know Syracuse ain't no ranked team, but 70 points? 70 points? Yeah, bro. Go ahead and put them in the CFP, bro. They already got too many notable wins. I know they lost to Texas A&M. I know they obviously lost to Miami, but Notre Dame's the real deal. And Marcus Freeman and his team deserve to be in. Oklahoma, man, ugly win against Missouri. I told y'all Missouri shouldn't have been ranked. I was never confident in them. But 17-6, your defense carried the day once again. Top 10 ranked defense and total defense. You get after the passer. Defense can rush. Hey, you got a lot of good pieces, man. But the jury's still out on John Mateer, who struggled since being back from injury. Texas Tech, we know how good, obviously, the Red Raiders is, man. One of the best teams in the country. Can't wait to see what they're going to be able to do. We'll know over the next few weeks with the Big 12 Championship coming up, how they perform. Ole Miss, man, so much going on. We talked about the Lane Kiffin situation. It's crazy. It's wild. You got to figure out a solution to that, man. But we'll find out after the Egg Bowl what it's going to be. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? A lot right now. Tough spot to definitely be in if you're an Ole Miss fan and you're the Rebels and you're a player. But definitely a team that deserves to be in the CFP. Handle your business in the Egg Bowl against Mississippi State. Even if you don't go to an SEC championship, you've secured your spot. Oregon, big win. Dan Lennon obviously threw a shot to the SEC conference or just to conferences in general about who they play. Big win against USC at home. Handle your business. Scored your points. Ran the ball well. USC didn't have no answers. I like the Ducks. Georgia is Georgia. Big win over Charlotte. No surprise there. They continue to roll. Big game this week against Georgia Tech in rivalry week. Texas A&M and the Aggies obviously didn't play this past week. Big one coming up against Texas. 7:30 on Friday night. I'll be coming back from the Georgia Tech game. Can't wait to sit down and watch that game. It should be good. Indiana, Fernando Mendoza, you know all about them, man. Phenomenal football team. I love watching them play. They just make the gritty plays to win, man. And they got Elijah Surratt, all the pieces they need in order to be a great football team. They're going to be dangerous. And how about Ohio State? Without their key pieces, Julian Sand once again, the defense once again, the running backs once again, come up big and get a big-time victory over Rutgers. Again, Rutgers ain't no elite team, but still, not to have all your pieces at your disposal and still get a win says a lot, man. So big win for the Buckeyes in Ohio State, who should be obviously into a CFP playoff. We know that, obviously, but also into the Big Ten championship. But now the big thing is beating your rival. Stop letting Michigan whoop you. This is the game to do it. We'll find out.